Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today again. I have this car. It's a 2021 Volkswagen Jetta 2.0 engine, and I'm doing a rear brake pads and rotors replacement. This is not like a regular cars like a Toyota and Hondas. This requires an advanced scanner because you need to be able to reset this rear caliper because it's an electronic rear emergency brake, and you should be able to do that. But I'm going to show you how you can do it manually without the scanner. And this car, you already see it's damaged. The rotors is very bad, the pads is gone, and just the metal is making noise. And I'm gonna change you, and I will show you tricks so you can do this job faster and smoother and really accurate and properly without damaging any part. And we're gonna go ahead and start it. There's two caps behind this caliper. In order to access to the bolts of the caliper, you need to remove that. There's two caps, and I already did. And I'm gonna use the T45 to be able to remove this hex head. Two screws is holding the caliper, and I'm using this ratchet. This ratchet is from AutoZone. It's a small and strong, really good tools. It's just really handy. Because of this, there is a, this brake line is kind of a hard brake line. It does not allow me to put the bigger ratchet here. I'm going to use this small ratchet just to be able to snug it in and just remove it. And I'm going to do it. Right after this, just push the pin out and do the other side, same thing. Okay, let's push this one too. And now there's a spring. This spring is under tension and need a screwdriver to remove that. Just make sure you can remove it. Just remove one of the side and put your hand on top of it because you don't want to hurt yourself. And just lift it like that. That's it. Just put this in the side and then lift the caliper up. Just you can put the screwdriver or whatever you have. Just try it. Just lift it up. As you see, this brake pad already, it's very bad. And make sure put this one in the back, because the package that we have, it comes one with a spring, one without a spring. The one without the spring, it goes to the front. One with a spring, it goes to the back. All right, we come to this caliper reset, and the first thing that we want to do, we need to unplug this wire harness behind the caliper to be able to remove the pump, the electronic pump, and just reset it. All right, we need to unplug this connector right there in the back. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It's kind of a tough place to record a video. Okay, just make a clicking noise and then you can push it back. All right, and now you need to remove this 2 bolt and just do the rest. T30, it's out, and then just use a screwdriver, just pry it from right there slowly. Just make sure to do it in the same time from both sides. Don't put the pressure on one side because you may break this. It's really easy to break this pump because it's plastic and it's fragile. You see, I'm putting a screwdriver underneath it. Make sure I'm lifting up both sides in the same time, not just putting pressure on one side. And then slowly, that's it, it will come off. Just put this in the side, make sure don't break it, don't drop it. And I'm gonna use this E12. I don't know what they call this socket, it's a special socket for BMW. And I'm gonna reset this pump, because normally you should have the tools to be able to push this in, but you cannot do it. The pump needs to be reset, and we're gonna reset this. You should tighten it clockwise all the way to the end, and it will stop by itself. That's it, to the end. And I'm gonna use a caliper tools push it in. Yep, you should be able to push it really smooth and easy. That's it. And now I'm gonna put the pump back. Make sure lined up the screws the same way you remove it, and then just press it down with your hand. Make sure it's set all the way in. There's no gap. Then, after you make sure you put it back properly, just put the screws back. And then hand tight it. Make sure to do it. And now we're gonna take this rotor up. And there is a tip that I'm gonna show you. You don't need to remove this bracket to be able to remove this rotors. Because if you push the rotor out, that's it. And you want to put this one back, just do the same way. Let's line up the screws. As I said, this one goes back with this spring behind and this one in the front. That's it. And then you should be able to put the caliper easily in a place. And just make sure push the stud back, line it up, and really be patient with these two studs because you don't want to damage them. You don't want to put them in the wrong way and just cause problem. Make sure don't tighten both of them before putting them back, because you need to make sure both goes in easily. You don't want to damage the thread. This one is tight. This one is tight too. Now time for this 2 cap. Make sure don't forget it. Put them in. And after that, I'm gonna put this connector back. You don't want to forget that connector. Alright, this connector is back. And now time for this spring, the tension spring. The way I do it, I put both pin in, and after I put the pin in, I hold it with my thumb and push it down and just press it in.